All right, everyone, coming up on FTC Top 25, we have 25 amazing teams comprised of your votes from the community. We'll count down the list, give some insights into these teams, and have a couple giveaways and more. So let's get ready for the March FTC Top 25.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. Discover how Kettering University students engineer their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply.
Hello, everyone. Starting off welcome to FTC Top 25, where we reveal the top 25 teams you voted for. From First Updates Now, I'm Abbas, and joining me tonight are Jessica, Miriam, and Justin, and our producer Tyler behind the scenes. We're excited to have you all tonight as we start gearing up for Worlds in April, and for so many of you to participate in voting for FTC Top 25. Make sure next month you keep an eye out for when voting opens to cast your votes. And we have our biggest show of the season pretty much next month. So we'll have more information about that later tonight. But for now, we have giveaways from Andy Mark and Optiodometry tonight. So stay tuned to hear how to enter and win those. With that, let's get right into the March FTC Top 25. Starting off, our top 25 is one of the 4 advancing teams from Northern California, 11039, the Innovators. Just a few weeks ago, they were the first pick of the winning alliance in NorCal and ended second in their qualifying matches. The Innovators have been strong this entire season. We've talked about them already a few times throughout our top 25s, and I think they have very strong teleop performance thanks to their double wide claw, which we've seen from a lot of the robots, which are doing very well this season. And one thing that I think is really key to this performance is how they flip their claw around to deposit the pixels, making sure that they have a clear path to deposit and it goes as smooth as possible. Looking forward to Houston, I think they're fine on the teleop and endgame side of things. They're very consistent and very highly ranked there. But I am curious to see how they push their auto cycles to maximize those points. It's always interesting looking at the difference between the claw bots and the active intake robots and how they're able to maximize those auto points. So far, it looks like the active intake robots are winning out. I mean, we've seen 2+7, 2+6, all from active intake robots, but we'll see how that goes in the coming weeks up to Houston. Yeah, Jessica, what do you think about the Innovators?
Yeah, so the thing with autonomous with a claw design is either you try to pick up 2 from 2 stacks simultaneously, or you have a super
Mhm.
thick claw design that can pick up 2, or you just have to do lots of cycles. So that's just something that they kind of have to keep in mind when they're doing all of this, is what
Yeah,
strategy
I
they want to go for.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've really seen a team that picks up from both stacks at once, or at least does it super well. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone can come out with that for Worlds and get it to work very well. Because I remember last year there was all the things with the fields changing and things like that, and anything like that can really affect how your matches go. But it'll be interesting. Anyways, Justin, why don't we hear about number 24?
Yeah, our 24th spot has charged itself into competition, and it is none other than 12599 Overcharged from Portland, Oregon. Last weekend, they were first place in Spire Award and finalist captain, and it's granted them a one-way ticket straight to Worlds in Houston. They have a great extendable intake, which they use in autonomous and heliop. And don't hate me for this, but personally, I do love extendos, so I hope that they get to use them more as well. Overcharged, they continue to make electrifying robots year after year, and this one's really no different. So I really can't wait to see how they shake up Worlds.
Mhm. Yeah, Miriam, I believe you were at MTI last year, so you definitely saw them competing at MTI and at Worlds. What do you think of Overcharge this season?
I think Overcharged, they perform really well year after year, with them. I do think that they took, an interesting approach. I think they have really good drivers this year, but, I
Hmm.
mean, obviously, they're a very experienced team. I also think that they do, really well on their strategy, and, the way they just, transfer it. I just think overall, it's just a really good robot in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. And one other thing that I always like about Overcharge is I feel like with the intakes, like we see a lot of surgical tubing, but from them it's like pretty much always compliant wheels. I'm not sure exactly why they do it or why not more teams do it, but it is interesting seeing them always have those types of robots. Yeah. All right, Jessica, let's hear about number 23.
Okay, in the 23rd spot, we have Team 14380 Blot Builders from Queensland, Australia, and this team has been in every single FTC Top 25 so far this season, which makes sense given the robot is both beautiful and speedy. This is one of the very first teams this season to pilot the side deposit and extending intake design, and their design just has so many degrees of freedom, which gives them endless flexibility on the field to collaborate with alliance partners. And though they weren't able to make it to Worlds, I definitely hope that they can apply to MTI or another off-season event.
Yeah, 100%. We did a behind the ball, I think, relatively early with them back in December, and it was really fantastic. Interviewing them and getting really nice close-up shots of the robot. One thing I do want to say is I'm really impressed with how they're still constantly working on their robot. I feel like not qualifying for Worlds can really make it tough for some teams to be motivated to work on their robots. But I feel like every week or maybe every other week I see them have like a new video come out with this or that new feature on their robots. So it's always nice to see, knowing that they're still developing their engineering skills and building really really cool robots. Yeah. Okay, Miriam, let's talk about number 22.
Taking the 22nd slot is none other than our first Romanian team of the night, Team 19066 AI Citizens. At their regionals, they were second place for the Inspire Award and were the first pick on the winning alliance, qualifying them for nationals. They have an extendo and very consistent transfer, resulting in some fast cycles. I don't think their intelligence is artificial, so Romanian teams should definitely watch out for these citizens.
I think I'll have to be upping my pun game, seeing as you guys are writing these. But for focusing on the robot, yeah, I think AI Citizens has a really really great robot. And Miriam, as you said, they're our first Romanian team of the night. We have many many more coming. It's really incredible and really awesome seeing how strong Romania is as a region. But it's also kind of scary thinking like only 4 teams are coming out of there. I don't know. They are going to
Really?
be very, very good. But I do wish there were more teams coming out of Romania. I think they definitely deserve the slots and they have the capacity. I think in the coming years, hopefully, we'll see more teams coming out of there. But yeah, as you said, Miriam, just all around really excellent team. Have that extendo intake, and a lot of other Romanian teams we'll see tonight do have that as well. Jessica, anything to add about AI Citizens?
Nope, nothing more to add. Just excited to see all the upcoming Romanian teams on this top 25.
Yeah. And so, speaking of, in 21st, we have another Romanian team, Team 21028, the Eagles. Although they're well known for their 2+7 auto, seeing as it already has 5,000 views in the past 2 weeks, I want to focus tonight on their last competition. They competed last week at the Yash League tournament, where they ended as the winning alliance captain and control award recipient. With the third highest auto OPR in the world right now and the top 50 teleop, they are extremely effective on the playing field. We can see them on the red side of the field in this match. One thing I really like about this robot is how in teleop and auto, of course, they're not afraid at all of picking up from the pixel stack, interacting with it, and just generally being around that side of the field. I think a lot of the very high scoring matches we see your teams with really high rankings, they just go back and forth between the human player wings and the backdrop. But with the Eagles, they definitely go all around the field and they do it very, very well. And they have the 20th highest average number of pixels scored out of teams this year, so the numbers definitely speak for themselves. They'll be competing in just a few days at Romania Nationals, so I can't wait to see how it goes for them. Yeah, Justin, any thoughts?
Yeah, one thing I just do like to point out is I kind of like that blue LED underlay that kind of just like makes the robot pop out a little bit. Um, I've definitely seen their videos, and I'm really impressed by that 2+7 because it really looks like they're not moving that fast, but they're still able to pull off such like a great autonomous. And that's something I think teams really want to do in the future. So
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I feel like the first time I watched that video and like I saw the caption or the title, it was like 2+7, and I saw them moving, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to be a two plus
Yeah,
seven. But
very.
then like just watching it through, I was like, whoa, like that is really neat. Um, so yeah, definitely agree with you there. All right, let's talk about number 20, Justin.
Yeah, so taking the 20th spot from Marietta, Georgia, we have 1002 Circuit Runners Robotics Surge. Their ecstatic bright green robot definitely is one of the most noticeable ones on the field, and they have one of the fastest intakes I've ever seen. I mean, they basically just touch the pixels and go, and either from the stack or the ground, it doesn't really matter. They finished off the Georgia State champs with third place Inspire, giving them a well-deserved spot in Worlds. I can't wait to see this team continue and improve to continue to amp up for Worlds and surge through the competition.
Yeah, I think circuit runners, we do have a behind the bot planned sometime either before Worlds or at Worlds. Definitely looking forward to learning more about this robot and showing it off to the community even more. But one thing I do want to say, I thought it was really interesting how Georgia had like all the way up to and maybe even past third Inspire advance. Like I think both Inspire 1 and Inspire 2 doubled up. I'll have to check. But I'm pretty sure I know at least Inspire 1 did. But yeah, definitely pretty cool to see like both the strength of the teams on the technical side and the non-technical side for awards and advancement in general. Yeah, Jessica, you want to go on to number 19?
Of course. So, taking the 19th spot, we have Team 14496 Robocopy, who are octo pushing the limits of this season. One of the unique things I love about their robot is their custom molded mechanism rollers, which improves their strafing velocity and efficiency greatly. They set the unbeatable world record of 416 together with the Clueless at the San Diego Championship and won first place Inspire, which solidified their spot at Worlds. With their own pixel lingo, speedy drivetrain, and incredibly fast intake, you better be watching out for this incredible team.
All right, wow. Yeah, I feel like the judges will want to reuse that at Worlds if they win any awards. But anyways, yeah, Robotify definitely really awesome team. We've been talking about them a lot on our top 25s. And speaking of behind the bots, I will be doing one with them also this upcoming week. So I'm really excited to get that out, show what they have going on, and have the community learn from it. But in the meantime, I want to talk about one thing, Jessica, that you said. You said unbeatable record. Do you stand by that? Do you think 416 is going to be the highest we see this season, or do you think we'll break it and go to 420, 425?
I'm pretty sure. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of difficult to get anything above 300, let alone 400. But it's just something up to
Mm-hmm.
see. Justin, do you want to add something?
Yeah, on 416, I definitely don't think we'll see another score like that until Worlds. I did do a little research and I saw that they had their lingo. I'm not sure if it's just a joke or not, but they call the green pixel pickles, and then they call the purple one purple pickles, and then they call the yellow one cheese. So I wonder if the human
Okay.
player and the drivers they communicate that way. That's something some people want to know.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I think 416 will be beat. Not many
Okay,
times.
okay.
Maybe only once, but I do think it will be possible to score higher than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless, just absolutely insane performance from Robocopy as well as their partners, of course, this weekend. Yeah, Miriam, let's hear about number 18.
Claiming spot number 18 is Team 99744 from Johnston, Iowa. They won Inspire and were the winning alliance captain at the Iowa State Championship, qualifying them for the World Championship. They have unique flippers allowing them to intake pixels from the bottom of the stack. They also have really good drivers who are always able to find the path with nothing in their way, making it hard to play defense on this team. Overall, I'm expecting them to hammer out the competition in Houston.
Yeah, no, Iowa I think is always a really strong region, and it's awesome to see Thor advance from there. And I think you covered it really well. But the pixel stack and taking is definitely very interesting, and I'm happy to see that there's like so much variety in how teams do it. I don't think there's any one meta in how to intake off that stack yet, which I think is pretty cool. Jessica, anything to add?
I mean, yeah, like they've been able to do it so well already, and like you said, like this region is really upping its game. This region is really upping its game and competitiveness. So not only is this team going to be good for this year, but I'm really excited to see what they make for years to come as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, going on to 17th place, we have Team 16633 Bots in Black from Atlanta, Georgia. They were the Winning Lines captain and Inspire Award winner at the Georgia State Championship, doubly qualifying them for Houston. They have an active intake, some sharp LEDs that I'm sure Justin's a fan of, to let them know when they have pixels, and they launched the plane sideways. Overall, a solid robot. I'm excited to see, what they bring for Houston, and it's always pretty cool seeing, just like Thor, teams when they win both the Inspire Award as well as winning Alliance Captain. But yeah, Bots in Black, definitely a very strong performance coming out as the second seeded Alliance, going into eliminations and then taking the whole thing home, I believe in three finals matches. But yeah, okay, Justin, let's hear about number 16.
Our next team in 16th place, congrats to 19044 Peppers from Romania. Their blazing hot scoring subsystem effortlessly places pixels on the backdrop with ultimate precision and reliability, allowing them to be one of the few teams in the world with the 2+6 and autonomous. Their innovative design brought them all the way to the Romanian National Championships, and beware because their heat might just be too much to handle next week.
Yeah. No, Peppers, I think, we saw how well they did last year. Just absolutely incredible robot. One thing that I think is pretty interesting, I would say this robot might be slightly more mechanically complex than last year's, or it at least appears so, like from the outside. I feel like last year they really, really hammered home, keep it simple. But this year with that horizontal extension on top of the already pretty long, angled deposit, and then the rotation on the pixels, all of those things, I feel like it adds up. But they've been able to implement it very, very effectively. So it's really cool to see. Yeah, Miriam, any thoughts?
So I think that something that's always difficult with extendos is the transfer, and I think they've gotten that down really well. Like
Mhm.
watching the video, it just looks really smooth.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right. So with that, we've already covered our top or our number 25 to 16 teams. So with that, we're going to start our audience giveaway and thank our show sponsor. To do so, we'll bring on our producer Tyler to tell us more.
Yeah, thanks, Abbas. We do have an awesome giveaway coming up in just a little bit. But let's thank our show sponsor, Kettering University, for their continued support of fun. Kettering University, by the way, if you're looking for a great place to go, if you are applying soon, make sure you get in quickly because their scholarship is going to be closing soon for their first scholarship of up to $5,000 per year at Kettering University. So go to Kettering University or kettering.edu/first to learn a bit more. Over 30% of participants or who attend Kettering University were in high school robotics. So go to a place where so many are just like you, where they have an awesome co-op program. Every single student who goes to Kettering University will be placed into a co-op where you get to go to school and you get to work with an awesome company, get that experience, make some money as well too at kettering.edu/first. We're also going to start our first giveaway of the evening, as the boss said as well too. This is going to be from a new company, Opti, coming in, who's giving away 3 of their 35mm Omni wheels. So this wheel is the ideal wheel for FTC odometry pods with soft rollers that provide great traction and a small diameter that can help teams create odometry pods that fit well in their robot. So Odo wheel is your keyword. Go smash that in chat. You only need to type it once, but if you want to put it a couple times, that's fine as well too. Get that in chat right now. That's your opportunity, and we'll draw for that once we get a few more teams in.
Great. Jessica, you want to start us off with or keep going with number 15?
Sure. And just up the creek, in 15th place, we have Team 11260 Up a Creek Robotics from Longmont, Colorado. And one of my favorite parts about this team is how they balance both hardware reliability and software automation to reel in some really big scores. I don't know too much about like the specifics of their like autonomous or teleop optimizations in terms of like software, but I'm pretty sure they have like a decent amount of scoring automated and teleop, which just complements the design really well.
Yeah, no, this is definitely something we were talking about last month. I think Up a Creek, had an unfortunate ending to their Colorado states, but really showed how capable their robot was. And I know they're regulars at CRI, at least they have been for the past couple of years. But I'm hoping we also get to see them in more off-season competitions. Because every time this robot gets on the field, it's just so interesting to watch how they play. Yeah, Justin, I know Techno Wizards is pretty technically advanced, or with their robots. What do you think about the automated scoring on this? Is this something you guys have tried as well, or not really?
Sorry, what do you mean by automated scoring?
So from my understanding, Up a Creek can get close to the backdrop, close enough, I guess, for a camera or some sensors to recognize it, and then they kind of just press a button, let go, and the robot scores in the like optimal place that they've determined, and then head out and go for more cycles. Is this something that you guys have tried as well on Techno Wizards, or something you're looking more for in the future?
Yeah, okay, I definitely know what you mean. Yeah, I know that they actually their teleop, they basically have like an autonomous. And actually, our
Mhm.
team, we don't have like completely automated. Of course, we have multiple sub abilities, but I definitely think it's like something to consider because of course, when you have like autonomy, that sort of can help out with reducing driver error and letting the robot do its work. So I definitely think Upper Creek is sort of almost like revolutionizing, sort of a new kind of strategy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Tyler, you also have some thoughts on this.
Well, yeah, something that this is actually very common or starting to become much more common in FRC now is this auto scoring feature. Some really big teams out there, 1690 Orbit out of Israel, 3015, who has created the Path Planner software that we're seeing FTC teams use as well too. These teams are both using automated scoring, where literally they can press a button and it almost runs the entire teleop for them with just one button. It's pretty nuts actually, and the way that they're just tracking it for FRC, they're tracking. You're using odometry, tracking the April tags on the field, things like that as well too. It's really cool to see, and I think you're going to start seeing more and more FTC teams start to use this in future years as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Miriam, let's hear about number 14.
Ranking 14th is Team 11329 Ice Robotics from Bloomington, Indiana. They recently won Inspire at the Indiana State Championship, earning them a ticket to Worlds. As a top 10 OPR team, they have an active intake with a drop down roller, making them a great robot for intaking off the stacks. We don't have a great view of their outtake, but it looks very consistent. Houston might be hot, but I think this team will ice out the competition.
Yeah, Ice was one of those teams last year that we saw a lot throughout the season, and I think unfortunately they didn't qualify for Worlds, but we were able to get it behind the bot with them at MTI. Hopefully this year it comes out. We're able to record it much sooner. But yeah, I think they did fantastic this year in Indiana. Winning Inspire is always awesome, and yeah, as you said, Miriam, top 10 OPR is really impressive, and I think Ice definitely deserves it. Yeah. All right. In 13th, we have team 10158 Scott Spots from Bogart, Georgia. They were the first pick of the finalist alliance at the Georgia State Championship. So unfortunately, they won't be at Houston, but maybe we'll see them in some offseason competitions. They pick up pixels by grabbing them from the top down and scored 230 points in a recent solo run. They target mosaics throughout Teleop, and it definitely shows. They basically make two mosaics, usually in their first couple placements, and that just really boosts their score right off in the beginning of the Teleop. For endgame, they hang with their slides and have a high arcing drone model for improving consistency of their scores. And as I mentioned with them, they had that 230-point solo score. What do you guys think will be like the threshold we're looking at for MTI, CRI, other competitive off-season events that have a submission guideline? Jessica, what do you think?
Man, I don't know. Maybe I think around, like, 200, it's kinda hard to say
Okay.
because I feel like there's a lot of different other, like, factors that go into these, like, off-season competitions, like robot design, etcetera. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I see. I see. Yeah, Justin, any thoughts?
Nope.
Okay, yeah. I guess we'll see. I think on my end, I want to say 230 is pretty safe. Slash might be on the lower side. But I mean, Scott Spots is ranked 13th in our top 25, and they're putting up 230. So I think that's a good area to be in. Yeah, Miriam, what do you think?
I feel like 200 is probably the low end of it. Like I feel like
Hmm.
if you don't get 200, you're unlikely to be getting into these off-season competitions. But I think that I think 230, I agree. That seems like a reasonable. You'll probably get in.
Yeah, but I would just like to make a disclaimer. If you do get 230 points, but you can score more, submit as many points as you can. Yeah, don't just stop there. Yeah. Okay, Justin, why don't you go on to number 12?
Landing in 12th spot with a mind-blowing robot is Team 19746, the Disruptively Robocephalic Brainstem Robotics team. So SouthStem was able to pull off an incredible six-wheel drive chain this season, which I don't think any other team has. And I wouldn't really about no strafing because they have an adaptive delivery which allows them to deliver off to the side and easily manipulate mosaics. So actually, I was at one of their competitions and I did a behind the bot with them. By the way, go check it out. And I would say they easily have one of the most consistent and configurable autonomouses, which gives them one of the best auto scores. As they gear up for the Texas State champs next week, their aggressive and such dominant driving style will make this team truly terrifying in the competitions.
Yeah. So Justin, you've seen this team compete a lot this season, and Jessica, you're from the same region. So as far as Texas State's advancement goes, I know it's a lot of slots. It's like 10, 11 slots, right?
Yeah, it's like 12.
12
Yeah,
slots.
they
Okay,
lowered it
wow.
to 12 this year. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So with that being said, do you guys see South Stem being like you're like kind of locking them in as a captain, or do you think you'd see them as like a first pick?
I think
Because obviously there's no reason to reject a captaincy if you have that many slots going to states. But what do you guys think?
they'll be a pretty solid captain, I think.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I would
Yeah,
definitely agree.
I think yeah, them as a captain and being picked is fine. And yeah, they're such a good team. Actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but actually, next this Sunday, I think a lot of Austin and Central teams are going to come and do the scrimmage together, and
Mhm.
we'll see how it goes. So before states, teams will be able to compete against each other or be with each other. So we'll really see how the divisions play out.
Awesome. Yeah, and when do divisions get released?
Actually, they're already out. Yeah, so people already
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, Jessica. Let's go on to number 11.
Okay. And for our 11th place team, we have 19162 Yaku from Kazakhstan. The first thing that I notice about this team is they don't have like your typical active intake with like a noodle or roller or a claw intake that we've been seeing this season, but instead they have two sleek arms that guide the pixels into their deposit. Currently, they rank with the number one highest OPR in Europe and Asia and number five in the world. And at their most recent competition, they won the winning alliance captain, giving them the golden ticket to the World Championships this April. So yeah, great team.
Yeah, no, it was really exciting seeing their scores on FTC Scout and different ranking sites. I don't think I was able to watch like any of their matches live, but I feel like around that time I was just checking scores, and every 10-15 minutes I would see like another win, and that OPR just kept climbing and climbing. And I'm really really excited to see Yaku compete in Houston. I think they have a really great chance at going very far into elims or into matches. But yeah, this is super exciting. I think this is definitely the first team we have from Kazakhstan that's been in our top 25. So always nice to see new faces. Yeah. Okay, Miriam, let's start off our top 10 then.
Starting off our top 10 is team 14470, the Singularity from Atlanta, Georgia. They were on the winning alliance at the Georgia State Championship, earning them a spot at Worlds. Their active intake is very smooth, and while we don't have a great view of their outtake, it looks like they can rotate the two pixels, making them a great team for mosaics. I think they will single handedly blow away the competition in Houston.
Yeah, it seems like there's just a lot of strong teams coming out of Georgia this season, which is fantastic. I think Houston's going to be extremely, extremely competitive this season. And I believe there's 56 teams per division or 52. Is that correct? You guys
Uh,
know?
I believe, I mean, believe I want to say 56. It's
Yeah.
224 teams total. I know.
Okay. And then it's also 10 matches per team now?
Yes, 10 matches.
Okay, yeah, that is going to be pretty cool. I feel like that really gives you a chance to, level out the rankings, take out as much, randomness or flukes or whatever, what have you, out of them. But more matches is always really fun. I just hope robots are able to, stand up for all of them. Yeah. Okay. And coming in at number 9, we actually have another Georgia team, Team 4100 Dar Bots from Rome, Georgia. I actually recorded a behind the bot with them this past week, so I had a chance to take a much closer look at the robot. They were the Finalist Alliance Captain, Control Award winner, and second place Inspire Award recipient. So they earned a spot to Houston. And they had some really nice side plays that I want to highlight, but you'll see that in the behind the bot. So tonight I want to focus on the robot performance. I really love the extension that they've added to their intake to let them pick up stacked pixels effectively. It's not like an extendo like we've seen from other teams, but just some drop down arms and noodles that really enhance their stack ability. I think they have a very interesting but effective transfer mechanism, and all around their driver practice has just made them really smooth on the field. Again, just another one of those super strong Georgia teams coming out. Yeah. Okay, Justin, let's talk about number 8.
Coming in at number 8, we have Team 11212, the Clueless, who might sound lost at first, but they are masterfully mapping their way to victory. So first things first, they plowed through the championships as the winning alliance captain, achieving a remarkable world record of 192 OPR and a high score of 416 with Robocopy, which again is a really incredible high score. Their lightning fast drivetrain and their narrow drivetrain, paired with exceptional drivers, allows for efficient cycle times, and with the ability to readjust pixels to fix mosaics, their teleop is more powerful than ever, and it's really no mystery that this is a team that you're going to be fearing at Worlds.
Yeah, no, I was really excited to see them ranked in our top 25. I think they should be higher, but I think competing over the weekend, people have already voted, things like that happen. But we will have another top 25, so seeing how they are going into Worlds will be really interesting. I do want to keep this matchup on the screen for a little longer. This was their first finals match, I think, and I can confidently say this is the highest combined score match that we've had this season non-penalty. So the Red Alliance, Clueless Alliance got 363 points, I want to say, which was the third highest score in the world. And then the Blue Alliance got 330 points, which is the 12th highest score in the world. And so for that to happen in a match against each other and in a finals match is just like absolutely nuts to me. I think we really haven't seen things like that happen since maybe Relic Recovery, when teams were just, completing the entire match against each other. But I feel like in recent years, we haven't really seen as many super, super high scoring, super close matches like this. But, focusing on Clueless, Justin, I think you hit a ton of the really great points. They're very compact, very fast. And I'm interested to see what software automations they have going on. Yeah. Jessica, anything you want to add?
Yeah, so something that I was like just so impressed by just with this match and these games was just how well Clueless and like their alliance partners just worked together. Because
Mhm.
one would they there was like barely any wait time on the backdrop, just stopping and waiting for your partner to score. It was just one after the other after the other, and then they're just
Mhm.
getting in so many cycles in, and I was just like, wow, that's really impressive for a regional competition.
Yeah. And no, Jessica, I'm actually really glad that you brought that point up as San Diego is wrapping up their alliance matches and or qualification matches. I was looking at rankings here and there a bit. And at first, I was honestly a little surprised when Clueless chose Robocopy, just because from a stats perspective, All Systems Go and a couple other teams had really, really high OPRs. They were undefeated. They had very good rankings throughout the day, and they were super smooth. So I was a little surprised by that pick. Obviously, it worked out very, very well for them. So I'm sure they have a really fantastic scouting team behind that decision. But yeah, San Diego definitely a very strong region, and I'm excited to see how the teams coming out of there do at Worlds. Yeah. Okay, Jessica, let's talk about number 7.
Perfect. In 7th place, we have team 17962 Road2D2 from Romania. Instead of using lightsabers, their sleek black robot blasts away the competition with their incredibly fast active noodle intake and durable deposit. I'm super excited to see all the optimizations that they do in preparation for their upcoming competition, and be sure to keep your eyes on this team next week at the Romanian National Championships.
Yeah, Road 2 is always just so strong. I think last year especially showed it off. I cannot wait to see what they have for Romanian nationals. I think it's going to be crazy. Yeah, Miriam, anything you want to talk about with Road 2D2?
I mean, I think Romania is just always like a really good region. Fast intake, like Jessica said, it's just I don't know, Romania always blows me away, and Road 2D2 is no exception. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's go on to number 6 then, Miriam.
So in the number 6 slot is team 15972 TechnoZ, who is also from Romania. While they haven't competed since January, they hold a previous world record of 372, which wasn't broken until this past weekend. And I think it's really impressive to be able to hold a world record for that long. Uh, their robot is an active intake with a very precise and consistent bucket outtake. With 2 months between regionals and nationals for them, I'm sure they will have something amazing. Don't know what it is that it will be, but I mean, this is old footage that we have on screen.
Yeah. No, and I mean, wow, like look at that intake. It kind of just teleports the pixels back into their robot. And TechnoZ, they were the winning alliance captain, I want to say, at Romania Nationals last year. So they definitely have the experience and know what it takes to come out of such a strong region. Do you guys think they'll be able to do it again? Justin, what do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I saw
Okay.
them last year at Worlds. I think really what I'm seeing this year, sort of like the smaller and quicker robots, are really the ones that are sort of like dominating the competition. So, and being one of them, I think they're definitely gonna have a really great chance to advance.
Yeah, 100%. Jessica, what do you think?
There's definitely going to be a world record at the Romanian National Championships. There's no way.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the competition's definitely going to be crazy. Like we're gonna be watching some of those live streams for sure.
Yeah, and there's a couple more Romanian teams coming up tonight, so definitely excited to talk about them. But before we get into our top 5 teams, let's take a quick break to draw for the winner of our first giveaway. We have a couple more, and we're going to announce who won the T25 submission giveaway. So Tyler, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff here. We just drew for the giveaway for the 35 millimeter Omni wheels, and the winner of that's going to be Verge Robotics. Congratulations. Please go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner. That is our new way of claiming giveaways. So you need to go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner to fill in all your information. So Opti can get that shipped out to you. And thanks again to Opti for the awesome giveaway for that. And as Abbas mentioned, for all of our top 25, both for FRC and FTC, we have our friends at SendCutSend are providing some giveaways as well too, including $50 gift cards as well too. So let's go ahead. The winner for that, by the way, is... I just had it on sheet. It is Josh from 11329 Ice Robotics. So if you go to sendcutsend.com/fun, SendCutSend is offering exclusive for first teams only a 20% off discount. This is a really big deal. SendCutSend rarely does discounts or anything like that. So at sendcutsend.com/fun, you can go there, enter your email or your team's email to get a 20% off on all your orders, not just your first one. Every single order that comes through at sendcutsend.com/fun. And Josh, we will send you an email in regards to claiming that, just in case you're not watching live as well too. And let's go ahead and start our third giveaway that we have. So many giveaways, it's so awesome on here, and that's gonna be from our friends at Anymark, who are giving away the 18-inch driver station tray. So this is something that's got a lot of different materials on it, but something that you can use as your driver station tray, or hey, many other things I'm sure as well too. So go type in CENTERSTAGE in chat right now. That's your opportunity to win, and we'll draw for that after our number 1 team.
All right, so starting off, our top 5 is Team 16166 What's Up from Romania. At their last competition, they were the first pick of the winning alliance, setting a previous world record of 372 points, which we just talked a little bit about before our giveaways. And they were also ranked 5th in our top 25 last month. So it's nice to see them maintaining a strong ranking despite not having competed in February. Now, not to fear though, we will see them compete this weekend at the Romania National Championships, along with a slew of other teams in our top 25. And with what's up, I'm really curious to see how their intaking stacks up against other Romanian teams, as they don't have an extension, or they didn't have an extension in this version of their robot, or an active intake. Those are two things we've seen from a lot of Romanian teams and from a lot of teams around the world, of course. But I feel like Romania specifically, those top teams are not afraid to put out their extensions, go just dart in and out of the wing, and then go back to intaking. Now, in my opinion, I think they're just so fluid with the intaking that not having that extension will not be a huge disadvantage to them. I think, in fact, they'll be more easily able to adapt to the crazy situations that are sure to come up in their matches. And, all I'm really excited about is that we won't have to wait long to see, how they adapt, how they perform at nationals. What do you guys think, Miriam?
Yeah, I mean, they were part of the world record match that with TechnoZ, so our previous world record match. I think it's really impressive. The colors of their robot, it's amazing. I like the orange and blue. As for the actual functions, yeah, I mean, I think it's a really fast, smooth robot. Um, Overall, you hit on all the good points. It's really good
Yeah.
robot.
Yeah, one thing I
Yeah.
would just like to say that I saw in the video, and it's just a really small thing, but just being able to readjust the mosaics, I think is going to be really what it comes to in the end for those really close matchups, because just that extra bonus 10 points really will allow you to, pull off the win, because, the mosaics, they're just so strong and give so many points. So I think definitely that's something that What's Up has.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Justin, I'm glad you bring that up. I believe in the 416 world record match, Clueless also adjusted the mosaic like right at the end of the match, maybe last 10-15 seconds. So definitely critical to getting those high scores. Jessica, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I'm really glad y'all brought that up because something that I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing a lot more as the competitions get like heavier and heavier is just you have again like a limited amount of pixels, but in these earlier stages of competition where it's like not as competitive, you don't go through all the pixels, so you don't really have to think about strategy in that sense. But
Mhm,
as we're starting to see like the months progress, it'll be really interesting to see how team strategies evolve to like
mhm.
just to compensate for like, oh, we might run out of pixels during a match.
Yeah, I guess that begs the question then, Jessica. Do you think we'll have a match where we run out of pixels on one alliance, or no?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, definitely. Okay, I remember in Rover Ruckus, I think Kraken Pinion did it once, and that was the only match that had happened that entire season. Then Center Stage, of course, or not Center Stage, Skystone. There wasn't much time to see if it would happen, but I don't think it would have then. But it's been a while since we've emptied. I guess Power Play last year there was a lot of emptying the field, but little different there. Yeah. Okay, Justin, why don't you go on to number 4 then?
Yeah, so blazing into top four from Fremont, California is 9614 Hyperion. I'm sure by now that most of you have seen their amazing 2+6 on YouTube, which amassed over 20K views, and they continue to execute it well during competitions. Hyperion is just another one of those really strong teams that are bound to win, and it's not really a secret because they swept through NorCal as the winning alliance captain. Their quick and nimble robot paired with a narrow drivetrain and good driver practice, Hyperion just really illuminates the game when it comes to this season.
Yeah, no, I cannot wait to see them in Houston. Definitely, we're going to do behind the bot with them, if not sooner, but at least then. And super strong performance. I think we all knew that they would do well going into NorCal. The question was just how well, and clearly they've really mastered their robot and the game this season. Yeah. One thing I do want to highlight that I think is not talked about enough is the end game consistency. I think Hyperion has one of the most consistent end games this season, and it's really critical to have that, especially going into Worlds, to make sure you have that high ranking and you can maximize your points scored in every single part of the game. Yeah. Miriam, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching this competition live, NorCal Regionals, and I thought like, wow, like, when I saw Hyperion's robot, like, it's just, like,
Mhm.
super fast, like, they were not, like, at the top of my list for the teams to watch originally, but they quickly made it there, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah, definitely. And one thing I do want to ask you guys, we typically talk about this around the top five, is like what teams do you think should have been on our list tonight that didn't make it? I guess I can start off. I was really surprised to see no Wisconsin teams on our top 25. Like this happened last season and it happened this season again. Like the average match scores were looking pretty normal for a while, and then Wisconsin State's happened, and for some reason, just like five teams obliterated the non-penalty average score, and I was just like, "What is going on?" So yeah, don't know why that. It's really awesome to see it happen every year, but I'm kind of surprised we didn't see any Wisconsin teams on our top 25 because we've seen teams like Gearheads and Kraken Pinion and so on and so forth in the past. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I definitely agree with you on Wisconsin, yeah, they have some very strong teams there for sure. I feel like there are definitely also I mean, I'm a little biased, but I think there are some strong Chesapeake teams, and I wish some of them would have made it on, but I'm biased there.
Yeah. It was also interesting, like not a lot of, well, not a lot, no Michigan teams. It has been a while since their competitions, but their rankings are definitely still up there. Yeah, Justin, any other teams you think should have been on there that weren't?
Um, I would definitely say, well, this is just sort of another sort of bias, but I think I definitely Iron Eagles as well from Texas. I don't think I saw them
Okay.
this time, but I think last time they were on there, um, at the Central area, they were really good as well. So that's definitely a team that I wish to see, and I actually will see again, as state champions as well.
Yeah, and Jessica, I guess you know last question for you is any teams that you think were snubbed?
Um, I mean, yeah, I feel like compared this center stage versus like power play, I feel like teams every single region just up their game by so much. I feel like there's
Mhm.
just like so many teams that have like a worthy spot on this list that, we'll have to see them later on, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a community vote, so people get out there, vote for the teams you think should be on the list, and we'll talk about them. Yeah. Okay, Jessica, let's hear about number three then.
Okay. In third place, we have none other than 7172 Technical Difficulties from Plano, Texas. And at the North Texas Area Championship, they shocked the world with their lack of technical difficulties and incredible consistency across all qualification and finals matches, even achieving a state record of 330 points as winning lines captain. Their hardware design is near perfect, and they're also able to consistently score 2+4 during the competition. And, with like a hardware that they have, I feel like the sky's the limit for their performance at the Texas State Championship next week.
Yeah, I think Jessica, you said they had a lack of technical difficulties, but I remember they had some connection issues or something going on. I think even in this match, we saw it. So I'm really hoping they get that figured out for states. But other than that, everything you said, I fully agree with. I think when we did our March or our February top 25, I hadn't yet recorded the behind the bot with them, but it's been released since then, and they just have such a cool robot. I really recommend everybody goes and watches that. Really innovative deposit, very effective. Yeah, can't wait to see how they do at Texas State's. Yeah. Okay, Miriam, want to talk about number two?
Our runner-up for the night is none other than Team 19043, Silas from Romania. This past weekend, they won the Innovate Award at their regional competition, qualifying them for the Romanian National Championship. They are one of very few teams with a 2+7 so far, and while I haven't yet seen it work in competition, I have confidence that they can get it more consistent before nationals. Their latest robot combines an extendo intake with an outtake that has many degrees of freedom. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they continue to optimize their robot and hopefully qualify for Worlds.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Silas's robot going into their league championship or league tournament, as you want to call it. They will again compete, next week with a bunch of other really strong Romania team. So I'm interested to see, if they're able to come out on top. I do hope we get to see them at Worlds this year. They had a super strong performance at MTI last year. But yeah, overall, what do you guys think about this robot? Jessica, you want to go ahead?
Man, that's such a nice intake. It just goes out so smoothly, and, it just looks so effortless when it's picking up the pixels. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
and Justin.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the extendos, I mean, sometimes they might just be better than, driving up to it. I mean, really, I feel like there should just be like sort of should just compete whether or not those fast robots with just, the active intake or the extenders are going to be faster. I really hope to see
Mhm.
at Worlds which one of those types of intakes is really going to be successful.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty interesting the point that you brought up, Justin, about comparing the extendo versus not having it. Specifically with Silas, we saw them not have that extendo on their first robot, and they released a 2+5 very early. I believe December at least, maybe earlier, but I want to say December. But they were able to do the 2+5 with that robot, and we've seen Hyperion. They don't have a significant extension on their robot, and they're able to do the 2+6. So it's pretty interesting seeing the differences there. But I think to really push the limits, you're going to need that extension for 2+7, 2+9, what have you. Yeah. Okay. With that, the number one team for our March top 25 is the incumbent top ranked team in 16379 Kookie Bots from Sammamish, Washington. Although they did not compete in the last month, their rankings have stayed strong. They are currently ranked fourth by non penalty OPR, second in teleop by both OPR and average, and have the fifth highest teleop match score this season. We've already talked about them a lot on our shows this season, so I want to bring up something new. I think we've seen a lot of different robot styles tonight, and all of them are extremely effective. So I guess my question for you guys, while we have this 2v1 match play on the screen is, do you think we'll see a lot of robots similar to Cookies at Worlds? And specifically what I'm asking about is the height. I think without a doubt they have the shortest robot this season that can still, complete all aspects of the game. Do you think we'll see robots this short, or like just not really anyone but them? Miriam, why don't you start?
So I think it's a great robot design that teams can have. I mean, the only reason I don't think that we will see that many cookie clones is because rebuilds for worlds are always risky. I personally have never been a fan of those.
Mhm.
And I just think if a team is able to make it to worlds, they probably have a good enough robot that they recognize that it's not worth rebuilding.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's a really interesting point you brought up in a couple ways. First, from the Worlds winning alliance last year, which interestingly enough, none of them have been in our top 25 so far for March. But I believe Quality Control, they rebuilt a new robot for Worlds. I think Don't Blink maybe just heavily modified or kept the same core robot architecture but made improvements to it. And Gator Bytes, they were just strong the entire time and really consistent. So lots of variety in the approach to the engineering challenge there. But clearly it worked out for all three of those teams. Um, yeah, Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, so your thing about how being short, I think one of the biggest challenges is that I feel like everyone would want to be short because, that's just the point. You want to be under the truss, but for us, it was actually really hard to get under that 11, and it's really hard for robots to just compact and be under that. And so
Hmm.
I think CookieBots is really impressive in the way that they were able to get it that low, because I think many teams struggle with that way, and they have to end up expanding, in terms of width or other ways. So CookieBots has really done something different, and I feel like it's gonna be one of the few short robots you'll see at Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing I had with that, I think getting under the truss, of course, like you have that maneuverability advantage. But another thing, and I mentioned this last month, was I very specifically remember in one of their elim matches when they went through like the triangular portion of the truss, and at the time, like that was the only case I really remembered it. And then when I was watching Clueless in their world record match, they actually do the same thing. About a minute left in teleop, they go through the triangular part of the truss really to because there's so much traffic in other portions, right? And so just having that ability to make maneuvers like that, I think is really powerful. and something you're going to see from the top of the top teams. Yeah, Jessica, anything else to add before we wrap up?
I mean, yeah, like y'all said before, like it's just so hard to package a robot to be that short. So I agree with y'all. I don't think that we'll typically see that many teams with it, but it's not something
Yeah.
I would not see though. So
Okay. Yeah, regardless, I'm really excited to see what they bring for Worlds. Hopefully we'll see it on reveal night and before reaching Houston. But with that, I think that's going to wrap up our March FTC Top 25. What teams do you guys think deserve to be in the top 25 that weren't? Let us know in the First Fun Discord or comment on the YouTube video. And don't forget to vote each month for FTC Top 25. Before we end the night, let's do our final giveaway, Tyler.
Yeah, once again, that's for the 18-inch driver station tray from our friends at AnyMark. Keyword was CENTERSTAGE. Let's go ahead and draw for the winner on that. And that's going to be Kyler. Congratulations, Kyler. Make sure you go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner in order to claim. You'll be able to fill out all your information on there. Just a reminder, suppliers do take up to about 2 weeks to get out shipping as well, too. So congratulations. Thanks to AnyMark, SendCutSend, and Opti for the awesome giveaways.
Mm-hmm. And before Miriam heads us off with the outro, I want to mention next month we'll have a special show because it'll be right before Worlds, Friday, April 12th. We'll have our fun FTC reveal night and our final top 25 pre-Worlds. So it's always our biggest show of the year. I really urge all teams to apply. Make sure you make reveals that you haven't posted publicly before. It's really, really exciting to watch through all of them, talk about the robots, and then after that, rank our top 25 teams going into Worlds. So, make those reveals. It's going to be awesome. Miriam, why don't you start us off with the outro?
Thank you for all the follows and subscriptions we received today. Don't forget that you can help support the channel for YouTube Join to gain access to exclusive benefits. We hope you enjoyed this episode of FTC Top 25. If you want to stay connected to what First Updates Now FTC is doing, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X under Fun FTC and join our Discord through the link in chat.
Yeah, and on behalf of myself, Jessica, Miriam, Justin, and our producer Tyler working behind the scenes tonight, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Keep an eye out for future new FTC content coming on YouTube and new live shows like Reveal Night next month. Thank you all. Bye.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. Discover how Kettering University students engineer their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Most live shows can be found on the First Updates Now YouTube channel, live competitions at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow, and join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. Check out our social offerings on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.